In this video, I go over 5 tips for using Rekordbox as an open format DJ. Find out more coming up. Thank you for watching PDot TV, where you'll find tips, tricks, and tutorials for DJs and music performers. Now let's get into the video. So my first tip is, the more organized your music is, the easier time you'll have DJing open format with Rekordbox. So unlike in Traktor or Serato, where you can have a playlist or crate with thousands of songs and you're able to filter through it with the keyboard on all the different hardware, this just isn't possible in Rekordbox all the time. Now the Nexus 2 CDJ actually has a QWERTY keyboard on the touchscreen, but if you're using older CDJs, which you'll still find a lot in a lot of the clubs and booths around the world, you're not going to have that kind of search function. So having your music organized, more detailed, and more deliberately will come in handy a lot more on Rekordbox in comparison to Serato or Traktor. So I'm talking having playlists like by genre, by region, by BPM ranges, by decade. Having these options to have your music sorted and already have them organized in that way in Rekordbox will help out tremendously, especially if you're trying to find that one song that you're looking for that you know is going to be the perfect one at that certain point of the night. Trying to scroll through thousands of songs and you don't have a way to really deep dive and search with a keyboard, it can become a nightmare. But if you have your music organized, more detailed, you can have the ability to pull up that song more often than not. And that brings me to my second tip. Try to have smaller playlists. Now, like I mentioned earlier, in Serato or Traktor, you can have playlists up to thousands of songs all in one playlist because you can search really easily. But in Rekordbox, because you don't have that search function, I recommend having a playlist no longer than maybe 300 songs at the most. Now, you're still gonna be scrolling through that number of songs, but scrolling through 300 songs and being able to find a song is a lot easier than trying to scroll through 3,000 songs. So if you can niche down your playlist to a couple hundred each, I think that'll help you out tremendously. And the way I usually do it, if I'm just kind of freestyling and just open format DJing the way I would with Traktor or Serato, I have it broken down by BPM. So I'll have a BPM range of maybe about 10 to 15 BPMs. And that way I can have, just a couple hundred songs per range. And even if that's too much, maybe I'll niche those down even more, just to make sure that I'm able to locate the song that I'm looking for really quickly and find something that fits the vibe of where we are in the night. Now my third tip, some people might not know about, but it's to use the secondary column function in Rekordbox when using CDJs. Now normally the default when you have songs on a USB stick that's been analyzed through Rekordbox is you'll just see the song title. But if you deep dive into the actual options, you can have a secondary column that can be anything from the artist to the album to BPM or time. There's a bunch of options there, but my preferred option is to have the BPM set for that secondary column. That way, you have the ability to know exactly what song you're looking for, but also what BPM you're at in your playlist. So say you do have a larger playlist of a couple hundred songs, you can look and see what BPM you're at to make mixing and blending two songs a lot easier than if you're just blindly selecting a song. Now my fourth tip is in conjunction with that last one with the secondary column. It's to use the sort feature. Now the secondary column you can sort by things like BPM or artists or a lot of the same options you have to set up that secondary column you can actually sort by. So once I have that secondary column with my BPM, I can go ahead and select sort, then sort by BPM, so I can have them all in BPM order, smallest to highest, and just be able to scroll through a lot more confidently that I know where I am in my playlist. And my fifth and final tip is when scrolling through your music, have the info window open. Now you might have songs with the same title from different artists or multiple versions and multiple remixes of the same song, and you want to make sure you're loading the right one, have that info window open. It only takes up maybe a third of the right side of the screen, and it provides you with info such as artist, song title, BPM, and you can have it open while scrolling through all your songs. So once you're in the right playlist and sort of in the neighborhood of the right section BPM wise or however you sort it, open that info window up and then you'll have more information and you'll have the ability to see to make sure that you are loading the right song at the right time, because unlike Serato or Traktor, when loading a song is pretty much instant, CDJs take a couple of seconds to not only load the song but load the cue points. So if you can cut down on loading the wrong song by having that info window open, it helps out a bunch and just makes you a lot more confident in the set you're playing, especially if you're making the jump from Serato or Traktor to Rekordbox. You want to be the most comfortable as you can be when you're in the middle of your set, and this helps me out tremendously. That way, instead of only having the actual song title and the BPM, I have the actual artist as well, and it'll scroll through the different information that you have open as well. So this helps me out a bunch, and using all these tips together really creates a system that makes open format DJing on Rekordbox a lot easier. So those are my 5 tips for using Rekordbox as an open format DJ. So question of the day, which tips are you gonna use? Or if you have tips of your own that I didn't list, go ahead and leave them down in the comments below. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. And as always, if you found this video useful, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, go ahead and click right here to subscribe to this channel. Or if you'd like to watch more content, go ahead and click on that video right there. And thank you for watching PDot TV, where you'll find tips, tricks, and tutorials for DJs and music performers. See you next time.